welcome to another very interesting session in the world of applications. So, before I get started, why don't you let me know where you're all joining in from and how is the Saturday treating you so far? By the way, a very cool fun fact, it is already Sunday for our speaker as he is joining in all the way from New Zealand. And I think it's 6 in the morning for him. Am I right, Andy? But so hold on to your seats because we are about to dive into the world where reality isn't just captured, it is conquered. In this industry, if you haven't heard of them, well, you might have to check your satellite reception. With customers spanning across 190 countries and operations through drones, robotics, and 360-degree camera data, and with 9.4 million flights, the DroneDeploy platform is one of the widely used mapping platform out there. And to give you a glimpse of the platform that enables you to go beyond the capture of high accuracy data, providing you with intelligent analysis, deep insights, and a single view of all your captured data, please welcome Andy, product manager of the robotic automation at DroneDeploy. Andy is a mechanical engineer turned software product manager with over 13 years of experience with companies like Becca, Trimble, and now DroneDeploy. He's most recently focused on automating reality capture and inspections to remove people from harm's way. A very warm welcome to you, Andy. Hello to you.
Thank you.
But before I pass it over to you, I would just like to run a few housekeeping rules. So please feel free to type any questions that you might have during the session in the Q&A chat box. The session is also getting recorded and we will publish it online soon. And please visit the booths at the expo section. And finally, please remember to capture your favorite moments of the session and share it on Twitter and LinkedIn by using the hashtag nestgen. A few lucky people might have some surprise in store. Finally, I would like to thank our title sponsor, DJI Enterprise, and gold sponsor, Sunflower Labs. And with that, over to you, Andy. I'll just stop sharing my screen and you can take over.
Thank you, Basheli. Yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for the introduction, Basheli. It's very, very kind. So today, I'll be talking about beyond reality capture. So you've already had a bit of an intro to me, but group product manager, look after the robotic automation side at DroneDeploy, and we'll touch on a little bit of that today as well. So a quick agenda. What is reality capture? We'll just give a quick overview of that. It's a pretty short session, so I won't go into too much detail. Some of the superpowers that DroneDeploy and reality capture give you, which is exciting. Automation, how we're trying to automate more of that with some of the technology like dock drones now. High accuracy and kind of why that's important. And then really what we want we're capturing all this data really to answer questions and get insights. So how we can sort of start providing intelligent insights. So at a high level, I guess, like reality capture, we kind of say that we help digitize the physical world. So giving you a nice view of your physical sites, and hopefully that's an up-to-date view as well. When we talk about building the future of reality capture here at DroneDeploy, we talk about three kind of key pillars, being unified, automated, and intelligent. So unified, it's having all your data, whether it's from the air or from the ground, all in one location. And not just like air and ground, but also different types of data that you want to answer questions about. Orthos or 3D models, LiDAR, all of that together, so you can answer those questions in one platform and share that amongst your different stakeholders. Automated, and that's a big part of what I'm doing at the moment. We really want that data to be scheduled by robot eventually. Like we'll get this technology coming along very rapidly, which is awesome. It takes a lot of manual time to capture some of that data. So the more now we can start to automate that and make it easier for people to capture, we can just have more of that data and the next piece, which is the intelligent insights. So now we've collected all this amazing data. Really, you just want answers and insights. And ideally, they're started to be extracted automatically, or you can ask questions about your data, and I'll show a little bit of that as well. So to give a little bit of the scale of DroneDeploy, it's really sort of insane now, the amount of aerial flights and ground capture that's happening at the moment. So this actually is a number from sort of last year, so it's over this now, but we hit the 1 billion images that have been processed by DroneDeploy. And in the back of that map there, you can see every single blue dot is an aerial flight across the globe, and it's pretty much covering the entire globe, which is really amazing. With an amazing set of data there, and the red dots now as well, which is becoming, it's a bit more of the more recent part of the solution, is the ground capture as well. And really, most of those building images have been captured manually to some degree, like someone having to go out with a drone and capture it. Still automated with the DroneDeploy flight planning, but it's still quite a lot of manual effort to get out there and do that. And then on the ground side as well, people walking around with 360 cameras and mobile phones. But with automation, we really want a lot of this and a lot of these images, the next billion, to be more automated. So, all right, so reality capture superpowers is what we kind of talk about at DroneDeploy to explain, I guess, the value of reality capture. I guess as kids, we always a lot of us dreamt about having these sort of type of superpowers, and now it's sort of coming to life. So we talk about fly, teleport, time travel, and X-ray, and I'll just touch on these briefly as well. So flying, I guess, probably going back to sort of the Phantom 4 model now, when drones sort of started becoming really reliable, really affordable. You could never get a picture like this of your site. Like 10 years ago, it was super expensive to either hire a helicopter or have a fixed wing plane fly over and capture something like this. It was really hard to see your site like this. So having democratized drones, I guess, and being able to have anyone on site can fly a drone and capture amazing data like this and make really awesome decisions is really powerful. And because you can do that yourself now, you can fly more regularly. It wasn't really that good having a flight once every year or 2 years, because that's all you could afford. Now you could have that every day if you want to. So fly, and that aerial view is just like a very powerful thing to give you context from a higher level. So as well as being able to fly, you can kind of teleport. So now we've got this unified platform. We've got projects all across the world. And so I can quickly jump in, teleport to any project anywhere in the world and have this high resolution data. This is a 360-degree pano that we've stitched together from drone imagery that we do in DroneDeploy. And now you can kind of make decisions. You can analyze, you can measure, you can have really powerful. You don't have to travel to site necessarily. And having that more up-to-date view is just, allows you to be like, actually make decisions and not have to go out to site so often. And this was really important through COVID times when it was super difficult to get to sites. Still really important now, where you have not just construction sites, but maybe energy sites or solar sites that are really remote, and you're not on those sites full time. So rather than driving or flying hours, you can jump in and see your site really at a high resolution and make measurements that you need to, which is cool. And then even inside your project, we've got these things here. We can just teleport between a pano and a photo on a different side, a completely different side of the site. So you can teleport across your own site as well, which is exciting. Time travel is a sort of big one now. Like being able to capture more really gives you the ability to be able to go like, what happened last week? What happened last month? And here you can actually compare aerial images, orthos right on top of each other. So slide that across and be like, what happened last week compared to this week? Go back, confirm that work's been done, understand maybe subcontractors are doing something around last week, confirm that their work was done and where they're up to. And so just being able to go back in time is really important for making a lot of decisions, and having that data captured regularly is the only way you can really do that. It's too late if you want to go back and you didn't capture that data. We can't quite, unfortunately, time travel to that point yet. And then the last one here, we talk about X-ray. So this is a bit of a ground example, but the same thing goes for aerial, for utility services or anything buried under the ground. Like if you can capture this data at a regular point, you now know like what's in behind the walls. You can X-ray behind the wall and know exactly where the services were installed. So that's a really powerful thing to know. Like a lot of times now when we've got buildings or sites that are 30, 40 years old, trying to dig up a utility line that you've got on an as-built is pretty much often wrong. So you're digging up the wrong side of the road or whatever to find these utilities. So and it's dangerous as well if you've got high pressure gas pipelines or anything. So the ability to have those sort of as-built and be able to go back and know where things are under the ground or behind walls is great. And now I guess switching gears a little bit, moving to automation. We really want to start to automate the capture of this and capture more regularly so we can get all of those great superpowers. You only sort of get those by capturing the data at a reasonably regular interval. So we've kind of got this goal at DroneDeploy by 2027. We want 50% or more of the data collected in DroneDeploy to have been done by autonomous robot. So whether that's a dock drone or a Boston Dynamics spot there on the ground, we're very agnostic to the robot type. We want just the best robots and the best technology for the job. But at the moment, the percentage is very small. It's still a lot of manual work, like I said. So freeing up people's time from capturing to actually, doing the insights and making decisions is important to us. And there's, I guess, the advancement of robots and dock drones now and the price point has come down so much that it's really starting to become a reality. So we're starting to see a lot of momentum in this space, and yeah, it's definitely an exciting time for the industry. So DroneDeploy has done well traditionally, I guess, by just making drone flights and non-dock drone flights for a start super simple. You just sort of pretty much have like, what is your outcome? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to do a map? Are you trying to do a facade, like a vertical face of a building? Do you want a panorama just to get like a 360 view of your site from a certain point? And on that panorama, all you do is pick a location and the height, and then DroneDeploy automatically figures out how to stitch 26 photos, take the 26 photos, where to take them, and it stitches it all for you automatically. So it makes it really accessible, super easy. Anyone can fly these drones now, which is great. And then, so for a mapping example, all you need to do is just literally draw an area on a satellite image around the area you want mapped. You don't have to worry about like what overlap do I need or anything like that. We automatically detect the drone and do the optimal overlap to create the best 3D model, the best ortho that we can. It'll tell you how long it's going to take, how many batteries it'll take for the specific drone, how many images it's going to take. You can turn on 3D, enhanced 3D or not, just little things like that are just really easy. And it'll take oblique images around the outside just to help produce a better 3D model. So that's all you need to do. You don't have to worry about like, what does my overlap need to be? How do I fly this grid or anything? We do all of that sort of for you. And we want to bring that ease of use and like simple UI to dock drones as well. So, and I'll show just a quick video soon. So effectively now you would usually go to site with a controller, fly a non-dock drone like this. But then you have to take the data off the SD card, upload it. So there's still a couple of steps, but now you can fly this right from the DroneDeploy interface, select the dock you want on your site, it'll fly it, come back home, and then upload the data. And I'll show that in a bit of a video form to bring it to life. Quick video here. So again, this is on a coal plant site here. You just draw the area, the box around the stockpile there that we wanted to capture, select the dock, click start flight. You go through your pre-flight checklist, start flight, it'll take off, and then it'll fly that grid. And you can watch that live from anywhere in the world. Obviously now with the regulation starting to happen, you can start to get BV loss waivers and do this completely remote, depending on the different countries. You can still have pilots and command on site, but it just gives you a much easier way to kick off missions. And then when it comes to land, you don't have to worry about charging the batteries anymore or swapping batteries out. It charges itself. So this is just an example of the DJI Dock 1. There's a number of dock drone solutions out there. It charges itself, but now also you don't have to worry about the SD cards and all of that. So the data automatically goes up into DroneDeploy. 2 hours later, you have a 3D map like this. You can start to do the volume of that stockpile. With the Dock 1, you've got an M30T drone in there, so you can take thermal as well. So you've really quickly got this amazing data, a thermal scan of find any hotspots in that coal stockpile. You can do a full volume of it. You've got that zoom camera on that dock drone to zoom in to cracks on a flare stack or anything. You've got this amazing sort of ability, and now that all that data goes up into your project automatically. You don't have to worry about pulling the SD card out and things like that. Or even worse, getting to site and the batteries aren't charged, or you've forgotten the SD card, which happens far more than it should. So with, I guess at DroneDeploy now, we're really a big push of ours is to try and create high accuracy maps. There's just we say there's like 10x value or 10 times the amount of value in a high accuracy map versus a non high accuracy map. And kind of why we say that is, if you fly just with pure GPS, if you fly a map one day and then fly it the next day, you're going to have a few meters or whatever your GPS accuracy is of difference. They're not going to overlay very nice. It's very hard to compare them. Relatively, it's really good. You're still really powerful. You can measure and have a relative idea of what's going on, but absolute becomes quite difficult. So if you can have accurate maps, and now we're seeing with some of the newer drones having RTK modules, being able to leverage RTK. Dock drones are great because the majority have RTK built in just to help them with their high precision landing and everything. So you get that RTK. We have ground control points and workflows as well to add in control points that you can on top of the RTK to align even more accurately. And when you do that, you can see if you fly one day and you fly 2 weeks later, you can see how close these like align over top of each other. So it means you can start to do change over time really accurately. With that, earthworks analysis becomes very easy. You can start to do like what's cut and fill, and kind of do a heat map of that. What's the volume that's been moved in or out of dirt, which is really important. But if you don't have those maps aligned, you just can't do that. Some of the as-built documentation, so being able to bring in a 3D DXF and know pretty accurately exactly where the pipes you put in the ground are is really important. I'll show a bigger picture of that in a second. And then when you export it to other tools, if you're putting it into CAD tools, you're using this data somewhere else to do designs, to do whatever. If it's just relatively accurate or anything, it doesn't line up with anything you bring into your other design files or anything like that. So being able to bring it into other tools and everything just lines up is really powerful for a user. And you can kind of trust that data as well then. So yeah, this is a pretty cool example of bringing in like a completely independent 3D DXF. It's got its own georeference information on it, and you can see how sort of closely that aligns to the actual drone data and the map. So that just means that you can be sort of confident that before you bury this up and everything, you've actually done this to the design. It's looking like it's in the right place. And again, then having this data as well, you've now got that X-ray vision superpower that you can go back and know what was done. It's a quick video here. This is a construction example, but having that, bringing in your again, independently georeferenced 3D model. You're not having to try to align this against a drone and like join them up. You bring this in, you can see that your concrete levels of your flight match up really well to where you're about to put all your steel work and everything. Are your earthworks levels correct? So again, you've just got this amazing view to see like how like before you put something up and have some really costly rework, you've got a really good example of that data. And that's really why we're capturing this data, is to be able to compare it to design or answer some questions with it. It's not just sort of getting captured just for the sake of it. And then another one here, and it's a bit more of a like really useful for marketing and everything, but also tracking projects. If you are capturing, this is every month for the entire project. So a time lapse, we can see the lineages over top of each other pretty much bang on. So you can see really powerful like how things are progressing. You can do that month over month. It's really great for updating senior stakeholders or your owners of the sites or anything if you're in construction. Other stakeholders need to be involved or updated, can see the progress. So again, that high accuracy allows things like that, which is great. And then capturing all this data, I guess, and now with automation, we're capturing more and more data. It's becoming like a little bit overwhelming. Like no one wants to have to go through every single one of those images, or we're doing a lot of work already to stitch things together to make it easier to get those insights out of this. But there's still more work to do, and that's what really we're pushing on now is having these smart reports with leveraging all the hype around AI and a lot of these models that have come a long way. So DroneDeploy itself has been in this space for quite a while with computer vision models, and we've been doing this for a lot of our customers, but it's just making it easier and opening up more opportunities. So every single minute in the US, we have a solar roof report or a drone up in the air taking an ortho of a residential roof. So we do have 300,000 of these reports a year, and we don't just give them an ortho, we give them a 3D DXF of the roof, so you can see all your slopes, with the orientation of it. So then we've got customers like Sunrun that will use that to design how many panels can they fit in the roof, what's the best part of the roof to put those panels on, what sort of output will they get, because we know where it's facing. Is it facing the sun, for how many hours and everything? So super powerful. And so that's before this workflow, they used to have someone go up onto the roof with a tape measure. So really dangerous manual work, go up, measure the roof. It would take about 4 hours, 5 hours to do. You might get one roof a day. And now it's a 5-minute drone flight, and all the measurements are out very accurately. You're not having to worry about someone sketching it down on a notepad with a tape measure to remember what they'd sort of captured. So just an amazing like value add of drones and reality capture there. We do a bit in the ag space with corn and soy crops. So early in the season when they're planted, you sort of want to know how many how many seedlings there actually are and how well all your plantings worked. So before you would kind of, I guess, take like a sample set of your of the field and sort of just have to estimate out the rest is like that. But now you can have a very accurate count of what areas have done really well, what haven't, compared to other ones. You can start to A/B test things like fertilizer or different types of species of corn or soy or crops as well. And these are like, you're counting like this. So you can see here, these are just like little areas with 50,000, 100,000. Like there's no chance you're ever going to have to count these manually. So that's really powerful. We do a lot of large property sort of inspections as well. So big commercial sort of buildings, HVAC, pooling of water, damage to the roof, big car parks and pavement reports, roof reports, cracks in that and everything like that. So that's really valuable. So that's sort of property management space. And then construction's a big part of what we do for sure. And then things like stockpile reports and being able to automatically calculate some of the stockpiles. It's really valuable to know how much dirt's been moved in and out, and what type of material that was. So we're sort of looking forward to this. Like we've got these billion images now. It's like, how can we really add value and make it easier for customers to get those insights? So we want it to be a bit more natural to talk about, to talk like to your data, to ask questions of your data, the natural language type thing. So can we measure the stockpiles and report by material? Can you count all the trees here and by type and export it to CSV to do something else? So like, can we really interact like we're kind of asking the data this question as well, but it's quite a manual task at the moment. Another one's like really important things that happen. So before you pour concrete, you have these sleeves here that need to be in place. They need to be in the right place. Your rebar obviously all needs to be in the right place as well. But you really want to make sure that that's right before you pour concrete. It's very expensive and very painful if you pour concrete and find out that you didn't have some of the sleeves on or everything in the right place. So we have this AI sort of sleeve report, which we compare to your design. So take a design file. We've got a high accuracy map. So again, the importance of high accuracy, and we can with computer vision pick up all the sleeves. With the green markers there, you can see all the ones that match the design files. So we turn this around within 4 hours, and it needs to be done like that because you've only just got the sleeves and everything ready, maybe a day if you're lucky before you pour the concrete. So being able to fly this, turn around a report within 4 hours and say you're missing 2 sleeves here, or these sleeves are slightly out of tolerance, is a huge value add. If you can fix this now before you pour concrete, it's saving you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's a really cool use of like, that's what they want to know. Like they're flying a site to answer this exact question. So can we just give them the answer? And this is what we're excited about for more and more of these kind of use cases. And then solar construction is the same. There's a huge push towards obviously renewable energy, which is great. And there's, especially in the US now, a lot of subsidies and a lot of solar construction being built. But these are huge sites. They're huge, like on a scale. These huge solar farms. How do you keep track of your progress? How do you know what's going on? How do you know if you've missed areas? It's really hard to see that when you're on the ground. It's obviously everything looks the same. You're in these rows and blocks. So now we have some solar construction reports. So we take our high accuracy, high resolution maps of that we already stitched together as part of DroneDeploy. And you can sort of see here, there's some panels in here, some racks, there's some poles. But now we can tell you within a pretty short space of time exactly how many poles are in there, how many racks have been installed, how many modules are there. And the important bits there are like, what parts have been missed? Like why are there only poles here and no racks? Because once the crews have left these blocks, it's very expensive to come back and do this sort of stuff. So you want to see at a high level glance, like why were these left? Is it for a certain reason, or otherwise get crews while they're close to come back and finish that work? And then we can, if you're doing this capture, you can do this every day, every every week. The more you can capture this, the better. And then you can start to see day over day, like the difference, like poles coming in first, then racks, then modules. So you can track that over time, and you can start to trend to see, like, you know, is the project on track or not, which is super powerful. And obviously it would take a hell of a long time to try and count through every single one of these poles or racks on these sites. So to have that straight away and see that in a nice color-coded way or heat map way is we're seeing a lot of value in that sort of report. And then I'll finish here and try and get to a couple of questions as well on stockpiles. So stockpiles, traditionally, and we've had this for a little while now, you can already like put a 3D model in and manually go around, and it's like you want to take a bit of care to make sure you get around. The stockpiles are always quite a difficult shape. So you can see here it might take like 30 seconds to go around. Still super amazing. Before you'd have to get a surveyor to go out and try and survey the stockpile. Now you can do it from drone imagery and get a pretty accurate volume if you've got a good ground surface. But now, with all these great segmentation models, the advancement of a lot of these AI tools, now we can just click on it and knows exactly what this is a stockpile. It takes about a second. You can click on another one. So now you've almost gone like 10x or more quicker to be able to get these stockpiles. But then, why stop there? We've got the technology now to analyze that entire map. So the stage we're at now is like, can we? You choose something that you want. You select something like a tree or a stockpile like this, and then be like, find me all the stockpiles, or create a volume report for the entire thing. So you can see here, like now, find all stockpiles. And this is a large map with a lot of stockpiles. So a great example of it. Imagine trying to draw around every one of those manually and figure out how much volume's moved there. And now, if you can do this day over day, you can have an amazing like comparison to what's been moved on site in and out every single day. You can start to do things like detecting which type of stockpile. Now you know the cost of that material and what's been moved. And now you can start to run numbers as well about what's happening. So yeah, hopefully that's a pretty quick session, but hope it's going to be a bit of an overview or an insight into DroneDeploy and what we're kind of doing. And we're very excited to start capturing more and more data, but actually give insights to our users and customers.
Thank you so much, Andy, for sharing this presentation. It was really insightful, starting with the map, 1 billion images processed by DroneDeploy, and you mentioned that it's still a very old data. But this talks about, volumes, about how drones are being used today and the potential it holds. Also, I love the insight that you mentioned. I just took a note that by 2027, 50% of the data are going to be captured by autonomous robots, be it air or ground. Also love the platform, the versatility, the different kinds of applications it's being used for, the concrete use case. Who would have thought about it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, all right. So I'll just take a few questions. We are already running out of time. Just 1 second. I'll remove this for now. Yes. Yep. So I have a few questions in the Q&A tab. If anybody has any other questions, please feel free to drop them in. For one question is, what kind of safety features are included for BVLOS flights? Yeah.
So we have like return to home. So about the return to home, obviously remotely, sort of basic like manual control like that. You can pause a mission, so pause that and hover in place. We're leveraging a lot of the dock drone stuff. So the first dock was supported. I think it's another question down there. Is the DJI Dock 1, and that's and obviously we're working on the DJI Dock 2 as well, which is coming out this year. So we leverage a little bit of that stuff as well. So they've got things like the DJI AirSense, the ADS-B in for other aircraft around there. So at this stage, it's sort of those manual control, the low latency video. You have to watch that. You have to pause it, hover in place, return to home if you need to. We're kind of finding like a lot of customers, and to get those waivers anyway, you kind of need to have a bit of a track record. So we still have a lot of customers that are seeing a huge amount of value even without BVLOS, just not having to charge batteries, not having to worry about SD cards, and they can still have a pilot in command or pilot in control on the site. There's just sort of a backup with that controller, but the flights are, the whole flight path is automated, the upload's automated. So we're kind of working up towards more of those BVLOS features. To have like the dock cameras, so you can check the drone before you take off, everything that you'll need to do remotely. So that's a lot of the stuff we're starting to work on now as well.
I think moving on to the final question, which would be, flight approvals, is that something that DroneDeploy is providing as well?
Yeah, so flight approval, I guess we're kind of working on that now. We're going through our own approval process for some waivers in the US and some other, like Australia as well. So that's something that we're trying to put together to help some of our customers. So yeah, definitely get in touch. We're trying to get all the documentation around like what you need to get through the waiver process in different markets. And we have some great third-party partners as well that we work with across the world that are really specialized in those sort of BVLOS waivers as well. So we try and do everything we can on the software side and everything, and yeah, to give you the information you kind of need to apply for those waivers.
All right. I think, yes, that's the way forward. That is going to happen for a while now, and we'll all see more of POCs and pilots coming up. And like you said, the dock is going to be like a unit which is going to be used for multiple applications, be it especially the same dock can be used for security inspections across the same site. So yes, exciting times ahead. Thank you again, Andy, for joining in and sharing this with us, even though, like I said, it's 6 in the morning for you. But thank you once again, and I hope you have a great we are already at the end of nestgen. We just the last session's just starting, so I would not hold everyone back here. Thank you again, audience, for joining in, tuning in for Andy. I hope you had a great time.
Awesome. Thanks so much.